You mentioned about the putting in of a somewhat of a boardwalk to ensure safety of cruise passengers transiting from the port into Phillipsburg. What is the cost of that, and why are we thinking about doing this now in the season when it could have been done before?
Well, Alita, thank you for the question. It has always been on the books, and I think that's high time now that we prioritize this overall plan that has been there for quite some time. Just recently, we had informal discussions with Doc Martin and Bobby's Marina. We are a part of those discussions. It came up in the presence in the Ministry of Romy as well, that we look at solidifying this overall plan, the need for it. And of course, within TIA, there is that ongoing congestion in front of the cruise terminal where there's persons that stand opposite the entryway. And I looked at it even up to yesterday on board the Symphony of the Seas for the inaugural call, and I said, this really has to be prioritized. The only way we're going to solve that situation in front of the cruise facility is by a structural solution. So that is the reason why I've now upped the priority in terms of getting this boardwalk finalized. We have the commitment of Doc Martin as well as Bobby's Marina that indicated that their sections of what would be the full completion of the boardwalk is committed. The actual cost has not been updated as yet, so we'll have to get back to you once we reach so far in that regard. But to look at the safety of cruise passengers, taking them off the main road in Point Blanche and getting them to move down from the cruise facility into town would be a better alleviation of the current situation. I could cosmetically put controllers, we could cosmetically get justice involved and put police officers and VCAS and everybody there to control the situation. As those officers move away, the situation remains unless we find a structural solution, and I believe that is the best approach forward. So the need for this boardwalk, in addition to the safety of our cruise passengers and to secure the livelihood of our people through tourism, is also the aspect of ensuring that the structural improvements needed to stop that harassment that happens there take shape.
We having a function this Christmas season, boys. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this, seeing that it is time for Wally Hamilton Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Ham and turkey, airline tickets, hotel stays, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag with more to win. Time for Wally Hamilton Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Yes, folks, the Lion Wally Hamilton Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big D Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
Tell them connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Minister Lee and SZV management were in Parliament to inform the Parliament about the situation of the funds managed by SZV. In the Daily Herald from November the 12th of this year, we could read the figures of the losses of the social health insurance funds managed by SZV. The individual medical funds that have negative reserves are not able to meet their short-term liabilities and their commitments in the long run, said Minister Lee. He informed Parliament that the two largest funds, which are the FZOG from the Retired Civil Servants Funds for Healthcare and the ZVOV, which is a sickness and insurance and accident insurance fund for the private sector workers, they are operating at huge losses. For these two funds, Minister Lee is proposing a premium increase. Minister Lee wants to raise the FZOG premiums for retired civil servants sickness insurance fund. The fund, the sickness insurance fund for the civil servants, retirees, and their families, has been seeing an increase in the deficit since 2012. It looks like it's almost doubling every year. From 2012, the deficit was 3.3 million, and it is now projected to be 19.3 million end of 2018. Minister Lee did not inform the Parliament that SZV got with the Division of Assets of the Netherlands Antilles a positive reserve for the FZOG fund. That amount was 323,343 guilders. So what is the explanation for the deficits since 2012? Minister Lee did not inform Parliament about the discrimination imposed on the retired civil servants. Retired civil servants' healthcare benefits were not anymore awarded as prescribed by law, to be the same as for the active civil servants. Since the FZOG retirees were integrated in the ZVOV fund, they get the same benefits as all private sector workers and seniors, and provided with the same benefits as workers and their family members without any legal basis provided by Parliament. So what was the intention of the integration of the FZOG fund in the ZVOV funds? What is the legislation that provided that cut in the benefits of the civil servants retirees? If the FZOG fund had deficits and it was integrated in the ZVOV fund, the question comes up where the ZVOV premiums from the private sector workers used to pay the FZOG costs of healthcare reduced to the same level as arranged in the ZVOV insurance. So even with the reduction of the healthcare benefits for retired civil servants, there was still a deficit. So is it because of the increased healthcare cost of the retirees? Or is it because the St. Martin civil servants base that had to produce the premiums for the FZOG fund was much smaller than the civil servants fund, the civil servants base of all the islands of the Netherlands Antilles who were contributing in the FZOG fund before 10-10-10? Or is it because the tariff increases of healthcare providers after 10-10-10 provided a more costly healthcare for the retirees? Minister Lee suggested that the FZOG premiums be increased to cover the higher medical expenses and spreading the risk by reforming healthcare insurance, which means that Minister Lee and his government wants the civil servants to pay a higher premium for the FZOG fund and the retirees. So this will be next to the 4% they are paying for themselves and for their families for their own health insurance as active civil servants. The civil servant unions will further look into this announcement of Minister Lee that he did in Parliament and will come up with alternative financing proposals to reduce the deficits of the FZOG fund. Now, the same Minister Lee kept silent in Parliament about raising the sickness insurance premium for the private sector workers in the sickness insurance fund, the ZVOV. Minister Lee informed Parliament that this fund, the ZVOV, also had a negative reserve balance, much higher than the FZOG fund. It started in 2012 with 27.8 million deficit, and it has increased by the end of 2018 till 148 million guilders.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
celebration this Christmas season, boy. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this. Seeing that it is time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play. Starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Ham and turkey, airline tickets, hotel stays, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag with more to win. Time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play. Starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Yes, folks, the Lion Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big B Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
I would like to know how healthy is the finances of SZV overall. And I would like to also know what has the management of SZV done or have been doing different to increase the compliance within the past 3 years. So what steps has the management taken to try to boost the compliance over the past 3 years? Mr. Chair, from the presentation presented last week, it is clear that the healthy funds are busy funding the unhealthy funds, so to speak, within SZV. And I would like to know, has this always been the case since the SZV days? And if so, it is clear that we have a structural problem. So instead of us blaming who did what, I believe we need to look at a structural way forward in order to find a solution so that we can clear up these issues that we're having in terms of finances. My colleague, MP Marcelina, made a point regarding the cross-funding. Now, my question would be, what are the plans of the ministry and SZV to tackle this problem of cross-funding? And during the presentation, you also mentioned, Minister, that SZV owes government, government owes SZV 84.2 million. I noticed from the report that SZV can cover the short-term financial obligations, but I would like to know if this trend continues in terms of government owing SZV, how long will this last? My next question is, how was it even possible for government to be able to build up such a debt with the SZV? Because my assumption would be that this came from also cross-funding in terms of, because when you get your pay slip as a civil servant, you see clearly where payments to SZV come off. So was this money not put towards SZV? Was it used to maybe build schools or patch roads? So, I mean, we clearly see that we have a cross-funding problem, which I kind of understand where it started, but I would like to know what are the plans from the ministry or government on a whole to tackle this cross-funding issue that is clearly affecting both entities. I would also like to know how the government intends to pay SZV. For instance, has SZV made any recommendations as a payment plan regarding the outstanding? So how far are these discussions? Mr. Chairman, through you, I have a question for the Honorable Minister. According to the presentation, let's say, for instance, because we had a discussion with the director moving, or the management then being able to cross-fund. Now, let's just say, for instance, SZV would do everything according to the books. Given the fact that government owes SZV 84 million, would it be then the case that instead of, because I believe it's only allowed because of cross-funding, because government owes so much, would it be the case then that all civil servants would have to start paying cash, given the fact that government has such an outstanding debt? So in my opinion, you see clearly where you need to move certain things in order to make certain things happen. So I would just like some clarity on that. And I also would like to point out the fact, because this is something that I campaigned on and I was very vocal about it, because if it wasn't for SZV, Mr. Chairman, we would not be able to move into that government building that we have over there, along with the NA-led government that, brokered the deal in 2016. So this was also a way of moving and making things happen, because if we did not have that government building up and running, St. Martin would have been crippled and maybe still recovering today, because we see the building, the VROMI building, the receiver's office, the census office, many the government are in the government building. And also we have the education department. If we did not have that building, we would have been still going through some serious hard times in this country, Mr. Chairman.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
We having a function this Christmas season, boy. Festival Village, 8 p.m. December 8th. Come win prizes with family and friends. You don't want to miss this, seeing that it is time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Ham and turkey, airline tickets, hotel stays, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag with more to win. Time for Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular. Festival Village on December the 8th. $10 for you to play, starts 8, so don't be late. Festival Village on December the 8th. Yes, folks, the Lion Wally Hammertown Christmas Bingo Spectacular is on Saturday, December the 8th at the Festival Village. Tickets are available at the Lion's Den, at Van Dorp, at Big B Photo Studio, and from all Lion members, going at only $10, $20, or €10. So folks, get your tickets in time. It's going to be quite a spectacular bingo. Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I've represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because #sports matters, #are you in?
The St. Martin Volleyball Association 2018 tournament is now concluded after Cobrace defeated Guess What to claim the trophy of the males, and Fearless Squad United seized the crown from Bush T Reload to be named the female champions. Congratulations to the winning teams and to all those who participated, as well as the organizers of the tournament. The RBC Baseball and Softball tournament continues at the Little League Stadium, so I'm encouraging you to go out and support them. And finally, our Thanksgiving service. In a few days, the 2018 hurricane season will officially come to an end. And as a nation, we must come together to say thanks to the Almighty God for having brought us through this season. With that in mind, I'd like to invite you this Sunday, December 2nd, 2018, to our National Ecumenical Thanksgiving Service. This will be held here at the Government Administration Building from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and you are all invited. I look forward to joining with you as we give thanks to the Almighty that we together have come this far.